Hey, in this video, what I want to do is show you how I'm organizing, how I'm reading my books that I'm reading right now. And this to me has helped me like get, oh, okay, here's how I can organize things to read. Because one of my problems is I've got books all over the place, whether it's like physical books or it's just digital books. And it's like, all right, I want to organize this a little bit better. Here's a solution that I came up with, and I think there's some things that you can probably take from this to apply to your own reading list. So let's jump into my Emacs here, and let's open up my task manager, which is right here. And inside my task manager, I've already like shrinked it, so you're just looking at my plods section. This is from a book called Productivity by Douglas Wilson, and he is a big believer in just doing a little bit slowly at a time, and as you do that, it'll pay off dividends. But it's much better than just trying to ram through a bunch of things and just staying faithful to whatever it is that you're doing. So not trying to do it all at once. So I like that mentality, and so I'm like, you know what? What if I just have all my books that I'm reading, and I just read a little bit of them at each time? I'm not trying to like crush a book. I'm just trying to read a little bit here, a little bit there. So I have my book list here. These are my other things that I'm doing trying to, on a consistent basis. But here's the books. And so let's focus on these for right now. So each of these is linked to another note. And inside another note, which I was demoing this, inside this note is just a blank page with a tag called lit. So I know it's a literature note, so it's not a Zettelkasten note, but it's just note on the particular book. And I have a link here. Now this link tells me where I can find to read this book. So for instance, right now, I'm going to open up the screen here. Right now, I know this book is on Scribd, so I just hit enter, and it will open up it'll open up the Scribd book right where I was last reading. So it's like right there, and I really love that. So you just tag it to the particular web page of the book, and it'll open up. So then, let's say this is brand new, and I haven't really done this with Dante here, but let's say I wanted to go to like contents, and I want to just take notes on all of this. So I will just insert all these like that. Let's go to the next one. There's probably a few of these here. Just to demo this out here. Is there another page of these? Okay, good. Not too many. Come on. Yeah, so as I'm doing this, I want to open this up. Now, I want all of these to be level 1 headings, so that way I can add my notes in them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Shift V, so it's a visual mode for the whole thing here. I'm going to hit Shift I to do insert mode at the very beginning of the line. I'm going to hit, so I'm now in insert mode. I'm going to add an asterisk, so that's Shift 8, and then I'm going to hit space. So it's going to make that first level heading, but because I've highlighted all of those, when I get out of this mode, I hit JK together, not together, but in succession, they all become first level headings. So as I'm reading through Dante's Inferno, I can take these notes and I'm like, all right, this note I got from here, and I'm not trying to like always link to different page numbers, which page numbers is fine. There's page numbers here in this section here, and I can do it the page number, but sometimes it's just better in my mind to link to the particular heading that you were talking about. And most books are going to have a table of contents. Copy and paste that or type that out into whatever book that you're reading and use that trick to get them all on first level headings. That way, when you get back over here, you can just open it up, hit O, and then begin to type out your notes on the particular, on the particular note that you want to type. So that's what I do there. Now that's for Scribd. So Scribd opens up the thing there just fine. A book that I have, an actual book that I own. Now Scribd, just for you to know what is Scribd. Scribd is an online, you pay like $10 a month and you get a huge library of books. And they have an enormous amount of biblical books that I'm really excited about. So using that to read biblical studies or even just classical books as well. Now, the reason why I'm reading a lot of classical books is because my brother and I have a podcast. We've been studying the great tradition of books. So, like the great books from, like, I don't know, we typically start called, maybe Homer or Plato, all the way down to like Nietzsche and even further on, and just studying those classical ideas and how they came up with those and how they impact us. And so if you're looking for that particular a podcast like that that discusses those ideas, you can look for our podcast. It's called the Poets and Philosophers Podcast. I'm probably going to link one of our episodes to this channel, but just one, just as a way to advertise it so other people can kind of get into it if they want to, as well as it's going to have its own podcast, and I'll link that to this. It's already on iTunes and stuff. It's not on. It'll be on Facebook by the time this video goes up, but you can find it out there. But I'm not going to do all the episodes on this particular channel, so it'll be its own different channel there. So I enjoy that stuff, and so I want to do more of that. I want to take better notes in that genre, not just the books of the Bible, but other notes as well. And I think I'm going to have Sam on here, my brother, to discuss how he takes notes using this system. He uses Obsidian, not Emacs. So that's what he does. But let's look at a book that's not on Scribd, but it's on it's just an EPUB book. So to do that, I've linked the actual EPUB book. Now, sometimes when you click this, it would open up to the novel mode or nav.el mode on Emacs, which is its own in-house. It translates, EPUBs, and so you actually read EPUB books inside of Emacs. I don't like its typesetting stuff, and it's not figured out. It's not according to the actual page, so I don't really like it that much. It's good for some things, if you're just like scanning the Bible, want to grab a passage here or there, but for overall extended reading, I don't like it. I'm using Folate, which is what this is here, and that does a really good job at make sure that the text looks good, and it's got some nice control over how you want it to look. So that's what it is. So I canted it there, and how I did that was I found some code online that I stole. Well, I used it, and I made it my own. So this is it right here. I'll put this in the description as well. But here's the code, and I think the way you change things is just so like any HTML file, so like a web browser file, make sure you open up with Brave, which is the browser that I use. Any EPUB file, make sure you open it up with Folate, which is this particular program here. So if you wanted to change it to Folate for the EPUB files, you would just change Folate to, I'm trying to think of some other EPUB reader on Linux that works there. It would change it to that. CoReader, I think, has some EPUB file, EPUB reader, or is on Linux. So maybe CoReader would work there. But no, I like Folate the best, because it looks really clean. So that's how I do that. So then, as I'm reading here, I've got let's go back here. So I've got my notes here, and as I'm writing, I take some notes as I'm looking at each of these chapters, and it's all right here. So what's nice about this little setup here is that I don't want to read a bunch at the same time of each of these, although maybe one of them just grabs my attention. I want to write a bunch. I want to keep just faithfully chipping away at each of these books. And the way I can do that and keep it all kind of organized as far as what book is where, I just go here, click it, oh, this is an EPUB book. Okay, let's open that up. And there we go, right there. And there is the Republic of Plato. And there you go. And that's how I can organize my reading to make more sense as I am studying. To me, this is very helpful because it's hard to organize your reading, and there's a tendency for me to, every time I find like a new book, I just want to read it or just read a few chapters of it and just kind of get into it. That's not very helpful if you want to actually read books to completion, and as well as take notes as you're reading them. So the other benefit of this system is not only does it help you figure out your reading material, is organizing it, but you're also getting it to where you have this text here of your reading list. And so then you can work through that reading list on a consistent basis and begin to chip away at those books and create those notes at the same time. I've tried a few different ways to read and take notes, and this has been going on for the past number of years. I used to try to do everything by hand, which works out pretty well. unless you're trying to go pretty fast with your readings, and if you're good at keeping things together physically. So like I've got books are on my bookshelf. I've got books behind this particular camera that have a lot of notes inside these books, but they have not been embedded into my system of notes in my Zettelkasten system. So that's a problem, because the great thing about the Zettelkasten system is when your notes are able to talk to one another, so you can link them through tags or hub notes or just linking them directly, then that's where the fun begins to happen. And because when they're not all in the same spot, it doesn't work that way. So I've had to like discipline myself to saying, all right, when you take notes, yes, marginalia is fun. You feel more engaged whenever you're highlighting things. But at the end of the day, take notes using a system like this, because you'll be able to come back and it's a more active process than just highlighting things or making like, oh, this is a good point. Spell it out more and write it out. So those are the engagement notes that I write. And so here's like a section of a book that I've been reading by Harold Bloom, How to Read and Why. I enjoy it. It's not for just anybody. It's for people who like to read literature, because he talks about these Russian writers and Maupassant. At least how the audiobook guy says his name. Just different things about each of these characters here. And now, because I've like took these notes here, I can just kind of go back and go, okay, there's the notes that I had on, Cherkov. There it is right there. So that's cool. I hope this video has been helpful for you. When you're watching this, is there something that you're like, hey, that's really helpful? Let me know what's helpful about this. And then you're thinking, you know what, Abe, you probably could do this. Some of you have already made those comments in my videos, which I very much appreciate. As far as, hey, have you tried this? Hey, have you tried this? Like somebody in my last video was talking about, have you tried write mode instead of Olivetti mode, because it's built inside of Doom Emacs. And I'm not using that for a number of reasons, but when I was using write room mode, I realized that they get rid of the Doom line here at the bottom. So you can see that down here. Something that's fine to have, but most of the time I actually don't necessarily need it. So that can be disabled. I'm like, oh, hey, let's do that. So I'll probably create some hooks to where it's disabled for my org files, because I don't really need them inside my org files, because I like this clean look that I have right here. And I really appreciate you making those comments. That helps me go, oh, okay, sweet. Because I'm not the expert here. This is mostly me kind of documenting my journey through learning these things and studying. And so I've been really enjoying it, and I've been enjoying your comments. I really enjoyed the live stream we had when we were looking through my Gospel of Mark there. So keep it up. Really enjoy it. It's really good to talk to you all, even those people who disagree with me, or who want to say, well, why is the Bible in Emacs? It doesn't seem like it jives very well. I think it does. So whatever. I enjoy it. So hey, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.